A rural road after midnight isn't the same road it is during the day. In the daylight, it's just a quiet country lane, fields on either side, maybe a farmhouse here and there. But late at night, when the traffic dries up and the lights disappear, those same roads turn into some of the loneliest places you can be. You can drive 10, 15, 20 miles without passing a single car, house, or person. And that's the part people don't think about until it's too late. Out there, if something goes wrong, there's no one to flag down, no one to hear you, and nobody around for miles to even know it happened. These are 3 stories from people who found that out on the kind of road nobody uses after dark. Story 1. I work nights at a care home, and my drive back runs along a few miles of country road with nothing on it but fields and farm gates. I've done it hundreds of times. It's boring, which is exactly how I like it. But one night, about halfway home, my headlights picked out a pickup parked on the shoulder up ahead, its own headlight still on, pointing across the road. My first thought was that someone had broken down. The lights were on, so I figured the driver might still be with it, maybe waiting for help. And out there at 2 in the morning, that could be a long wait. So I slowed right down, and I'll admit, part of me wanted to make sure whoever it was had someone to call. But as I got level with the truck, things started seeming strange. The driver's door was hanging wide open. There was nobody in the cab and nobody standing around it, and I could hear the engine still running. It just sat there, door open, lights on, like the driver had stepped out a second ago and walked off into the dark. I came to a stop to look for someone, and that's when the feeling crept over me. The feeling that I wasn't alone, that somewhere just past the edge of my headlights, someone was standing in the dark, watching me sit there. I didn't see them. I just knew, and then I heard it. The crunch of gravel somewhere off to the side of the road, slow and deliberate, coming closer. I didn't wait to find out who it was. I put my foot down, and I didn't slow until I hit the main road. The next day, I mentioned it to a co-worker who lives out that way, and she went pale. She told me a truck had been left like that on that stretch more than once, lights on, door open, and that a couple of people who'd pulled over to help had come back with stories a lot like mine. Nobody ever found out who was doing it, or why. I take a different road home now. Story 2. I drive between small towns for work, so I'm used to being out on empty roads at strange hours. It doesn't usually bother me, but there's one night I still can't shake. I was crossing a long, flat stretch of farmland a bit after midnight, the kind of place where there's nothing but crops for miles, when I noticed a light out in one of the fields. A flashlight, way off to my left, bobbing the way a torch does when someone's walking. A farmer out at night isn't strange on its own. What got me was that the light seemed to keep pace with me. When I sped up, it sped up too, staying level with my car across the field. I told myself I was inventing the connection, that it was just someone out checking on animals. But it stayed with me for a good mile, and that's a long time to watch a light track you in the dark. I was so focused on it that I missed my turn, and by the time I realized, I'd gone down a narrow side lane I didn't recognize, hemmed in by hedges on both sides. The lane dead-ended at a farm gate, so I had to stop, do an awkward turn in the dark, and head back the way I'd come. And as I came back up toward the main road, my headlights landed on something that made my chest go tight. There was a person standing at the mouth of the lane, right where it met the road, holding a flashlight down at their side. The same light I'd been watching out in the field. They didn't wave or move. They just stood in the exact spot I had to drive through to get out. I didn't give them a chance to do anything. I accelerated past them, as fast as that lane would let me, close enough to see it was a man. And in my mirror, he turned and watched my taillights all the way down the road. I've got no proof of anything, but I am certain that man had been out there watching cars go by, and for some reason, he had picked mine. Story 3. I'd been visiting my parents a couple of towns over, and I left later than I meant to, so it was well past midnight when I was driving home along this back road through the hills. I don't know that road well, and in the dark, it all looks the same, just my headlights and the white lines, and a wall of black on either side. I came around a bend, and there was a person standing in the middle of the road. Not at the side, right in the middle of my lane, facing toward me, completely still. I hit the brakes and stopped a good distance back, my heart hammering. At first, I thought maybe they were hurt, or lost, or in shock from a crash somewhere. So I sat there for a second, waiting for them to wave, or step aside, or do anything at all. They didn't. They just stood there, in my headlights, staring straight at the car, not moving a muscle. I flashed my lights, and nothing. I tapped the horn, expecting them to flinch, but still nothing. They didn't blink, didn't shield their eyes, didn't react the way a normal person would. Something about how still they were made every instinct in me start to scream. Every part of me was suddenly telling me to leave that spot right now. I decided I would go around them. I eased off the brake and started to pull slowly onto the other side of the road to pass. And the moment I did, the person turned their whole body to follow me, still staring, and then they started walking toward the car. Not running, walking, fast and stiff, straight at my window. I swung the car around them and put my foot down, flying down that road faster than I ever should have. When I finally looked in my mirror, the road behind me was completely empty. There was nowhere for them to go. No trees close enough, no turning, just open road in both directions, and they were simply gone. I've told myself a dozen times it was somebody sleepwalking, or someone unwell who needed help I was too frightened to give. Maybe it was. But I've never been able to explain how a person standing in the middle of an open road just vanished in the few seconds it took me to drive away. Have you ever had any rural road scares? Comment your experiences below, and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there.